I used to lose content ideas all the time. Not because I wasn't capturing them, but the problem was I was capturing them in a million different places. It was because I was capturing them in too many places and it was everywhere. I had Notes app in multiple different folders on my Notes app. I had voice notes sometimes. I had Instagram saves in different folders. I had Google Docs. I had spreadsheets. It was everywhere, right? And if that sounds familiar to you, then this is going to be for you. My name is Jenny Stevens, and in this video, I'm going to be showing you how my idea vault inside of my content operating system works. So every idea that you can have can actually be put into a central place that you can find, you can search, they're tagged, they're ready for you to review and turn it into content and have the power of AI fit your process, your brain, and your workflow. This is video 2 of 7 of my mini series, all about the content operating system to help you save 5+ hours every week on your content process so you can actually get back that time to do what you want to with it. So if you're anything like me, ideas come at the most random times of the day. It can be in the shower, when you're on for a walk, when you're trying to get to sleep and you wake up at 2 a.m. You're like, that's such a good idea. I don't want to lose it. And as entrepreneurs and service providers, creating content and coming up with ideas is just part of the being an entrepreneur. It's part of our, essence that make us and brilliant. But one of the things that we don't want to do is we don't want to lose those ideas, right? Because we know what it's like in this fast-paced world. And if you're anything like me, once I get distracted, it can go. And there's so much gold that comes from your brilliant brain. We want to make sure that it's captured. So I'm going to kind of share with you kind of 2 different ways of, depending on how you work, right? Because everyone's different. And so with the Idea Vault, it's a place for you to be able to get your ideas out of your brain and into something that you can actually then do something with it and easily turn those ideas into content for when you're ready, when you're in that creation mode, right? So whether you're a voice noter and you like to talk out your ideas on your phone, whether you're driving, walking, whatever, and automatically have those ideas turned into drafted posts for you, ready to review and then turn into the actual content to share, or you just want to quickly jot out those ideas and come back to it later and kind of fill in the gaps. This is what's here for you. So the voice note option is you will obviously have a voice note app, so we can choose one of a few different apps to connect to that is able to connect to what we need in the back end that is easy for you to use. And then you can just speak out your ideas. So whether you're out for a walk, you're in the car, wherever you like to do it, in the kitchen while you're washing up or whatever. And it could be a podcast idea, it could be an email idea, it could be a real idea, whatever you want. You can just speak it out in your natural habitats, in your natural voice. And actually this is a really good way of making sure that AI sounds more like you than kind of generic AI slot. And then by the time you then get home from the walk or you're finished or you're ready to sit down and actually get into that kind of content mode of finishing it, you can then come to a view that looks like this. So then you can have a view that is filtered by AI drafted ones just for ideas if you wanted to. And so you could then come in here and we can see already we've got an email. So this is one that I kind of tested with where I had like an interview question. And so I was just answering the question kind of in my native form, right? And so it's put it in my Content Hub, it's labeled it as an email, it's labeled it that it's AI drafted, so I know that I need to review it and actually make it sound, just check that it actually sounds like me and finalize it. It's linked to the idea, so I can also then click in here, and here you can see, here's my transcript of that voice note, and that's in the Idea Vault. So that's there if I want it, but this is now created a draft in my main content tab. If it's a social media post, then we can have like the slides, text can go in here. And then we've got sections for social media and email. So here we could have hooks come in, got a caption draft. And obviously then when you're actually then creating it, where it's turning it into a carousel, or if you're creating the reel or whatever, you can again upload those assets into here. So it all lives inside of here. So you can find it, you can reuse it, which I'm all about, and we'll talk more about repurposing in a later video in this series. You can plan the date you're going to share it and whatnot. And then an email. So obviously for this one, this was an email. Here you can see I've got a subject line. It's created the email draft. So I can then just come in here and sort out the spacing. That's what I usually do. I sort out the spacing and then I read it and just tweak it to whatever I need to. Okay. So like there's M dashes in here, even though I've told it not to give me M dashes, so I can just come in here and I can just finalize it, just check it sounds like me and I'm happy with it. And then I can be like, yep, okay, I'm going to share this next week. And I can say, this is now ready to schedule and it's done. You can then move on to the next one if you've got multiple, right? But from all that you're seeing, you're just doing your voice note. You come in here, you finalize, and then you finish it. Or if it's being handed off to anybody else, like a VA to schedule it for you, you can easily do that too. And then we can have a view that's for, so I've actually got one here for like approvals. If you're coming to approve anything, we can have a view for a VA or anyone to schedule, whatever you need. So all the hard work is done behind the scenes. And that's the piece that I obviously create, and you use tools like Make, that's the one that I recommend and I use, Cabby Zapier as well, that does all the heavy lifting for you, that takes your file, it transcribes it, and then it turns it into content, all in the back end that you don't need to worry about. You're just focusing on this nice, simple view with the fields that you need to see, how you want to see it, and you can then just focus on what you need to do best. Then if you are kind of in the more of a writer, you'd want to just jot it down quickly, or you might use both of these, it's fine. You can then come into the data view. So if you like spreadsheets, this kind of gives you a sort of spreadsheet view. So here's where all the data lives in the back end. So you've got interfaces, which are kind of like the simple view, and then you've got the data. So here is that record from the idea. So here you can see I've got it's labeled as email. Here's my transcript. And here you can see this is then the post that was created that we were just looking at in that view, right? But equally, if you're kind of more of a writer, or if you're on the whim, like quite often if I'm just watching telly at night, I can go in on my phone and still see all of this in my phone. And I can easily just add a new record and I can say, right, I've got another idea. There's this great hook that I saw. Could be like, I don't know, I quite often will save hooks in mind that I see, so it could be like, I helped this client save 5+ hours a week on her content, right? You could just have this idea, just jot down, write it out quickly or on your phone, and then you could label it if you want to. You could say, right, this is an Instagram reel idea. It's going to be a video. Like these kind of categories of labeling, you can pick and choose what things you need or you don't. And then the other piece that then you can do is if you've obviously got those out and you're like, actually, I want to do this idea now for next week or the week after or whenever, you can easily just say, okay, I'm going to do this. And what it's going to do is there's an automation. They have automations inside of Airtable as well. So rather than you having to copy that and make it in your main content view here, by saying to do, I've got an automation. It's not turned on because this is obviously my kind of demo one, but this is then going to take that record and create a new one and label it. You can see here it's labeled to do. It's also going to link back to that idea so you can have everything that you need to do. But then again, you can just see it in here and then continue with your process to actually create it. So the idea is it means you're not filling up all of your main content place with just ideas. That's like all of your in progress or done stuff. And then your ideas can live here as and when you're ready to actually turn it into something that you want to use. And so the beauty with all of this is it can be customized for you with how you want to be able to see things, your labels, like if you don't care about what the goal is, we could take that out. If you want to add certain things in, this is where having that custom system built for you, for your brain, for how you work is going to really, really suit you. So as you can see, this just helps get rid of that scattered content ideas across a million different places. You may still have those, but make it a new habit where instead of doing all those different things that you were doing, you now just go to that one simple place that's actually setting you up for more productive sessions, to save you time and save you going, where the hell was that one thing that I had? And you're looking in so many different places. You know that every idea is captured, it's utilized, it's turned into content automatically for you, and it's ready to become scheduled posts when you're ready to create it. So if you would like this built out for your business, for how your brain works, for how you do it, your workflows, then you'll find a link to apply in the description below. There'll be limited spots every single month that you can apply. There's no pressure. We can jump on a call and I can answer any questions that you may have and see if it's a fit for you. And then we'll schedule it in for when you and I are both ready. So if you prefer to do it yourself, then you can check the description below for my template, for my foundational content hub, which gives you all of the organization side of things. Obviously, it doesn't have the turning ideas into content with AI, but that just gives you a starting point that you can at least have that central place to store all of your content and organize it. And I'll also be sharing future templates that come later on. And by subscribing, you'll get to know when other templates become available. So tomorrow in video 3, I'm going to be showing you the workflow views so you can really create the right views of the right data and the information that you need for the different jobs and part of your process that you do, whether it's social media content, whether it's like creating a podcast or YouTube, if you have a team or if you're on your own. So you're basically seeing the right thing at the right time without kind of feeling overwhelmed and being distracted by other stuff. It keeps you in line. So make sure that you come back for the next video. And if you're watching this after this was becoming live, you can check the playlist and you'll see all of those videos too. If you've got any questions, drop them below. I would love to answer them and help you out with how you can make your content process more efficient, speedier, faster, easier, and actually help you get back to doing the work that you love as a service provider and doing and helping your clients.